covering the Triad and beyond. This is ABC 45 News at 6.
Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight at 6. I'm Darian Trotter. Camilla has the night off. 2 people are dead and 1 person is in serious condition following a wrong-way crash in Greensboro earlier this morning. Greensboro police say it happened on I-40 west near exit 221 just before 3 this morning. They say 50-year-old William Grimes was driving east in the westbound lanes where he struck a car that 50-year-old Tony Vinson was driving. Both Grimes and Vinson died at the scene of the crash. A passenger in Vinson's car was taken to the hospital in serious condition. Right now, police don't know if alcohol was a factor in the accident, and the crash reconstruction unit is working on the case. If you saw what happened, you're urged to call police. Winston-Salem police are investigating a shooting that left 1 person in critical condition. They say it happened around 12:30 this morning on Ottawa Street. When officers arrived, they found 1 person suffering from gunshot wounds. They were taken to an area hospital for treatment. Right now, they're still looking for a suspect. So if you have any information about what happened, call police in this case. A suspect is in custody tonight following an armed robbery at a local dollar store. Police say an employee at Winston-Salem Family Dollar Store shot 38-year-old Avondre McLaurin after he tried to steal money from the register. They say McLaurin fled to his home and refused to cooperate with investigators. Police say they utilized a K-9 officer to help take him into custody. The department says as a result, he did suffer minor injuries and was taken to the hospital for treatment for the gun wound and dog bite. They say he's now facing multiple charges, including assault and resisting arrest. Kernersville police are investigating a robbery that happened at a popular dollar store in the area. They say it happened around 9:30 last night at the Dollar General on Main Street. They say a man wearing a black parka with a hood, black pants, black ski mask, and red Nike shoes entered the store and stole cash. No word on which direction he took off on and how much money he got away with. If you know what happened, you're urged to call police. University of North Carolina leaders are continuing to plead for some patience as they don't have any finalized plan for the spring semester just yet. They say they initially had a plan in place, but the Omicron variant is now impacting that. This led many faculty members to share their frustrations and concerns during a meeting Thursday.
It's deja vu all over again.
For yet another semester, UNC faculty demanding their voices get heard as leaders plan ahead.
You said that the most important thing was that our students have a residential experience, so forth and so on. What about the rest of us? What about the faculty and staff?
This past week, around 128 students and staff testing positive for COVID-19. That's around 6 times more than the 20 reported the week before. As Omicron rapidly spreads across the nation, UNC leaders say their initial spring semester plans are now up in the air.
We have a plan that's been laid out. It was primarily informed by our knowledge around Delta. The last 6 weeks has changed that. We do not have a final plan.
The campus did announce yesterday all students living in dorms and any unvaccinated students will need to take a COVID-19 test 3 days before returning to campus. But whether the semester will begin online, if there will be changes to testing requirements, or reduction in events, all are undecided. Leaders saying they understand the urgent need for a plan would also point to the constantly changing news on the new variant.
I believe that we're in a better situation if we wait a little bit longer and wait until we have as much information and data as we possibly can to make as informed a decision as possible.
Faculty is pushing for a focus on masking, mental health, and flexibility in the plan to allow for pivots. The university aims to release a decision by January 3rd.
The surge in new COVID-19 cases is having a major impact on holiday travel. Hundreds of flights across the U.S. canceled on Christmas Eve. This as Americans continue to wait in long lines to get tested before Christmas. Daryl Forges has details.
The latest COVID-19 surge causing major travel disruptions. More than 2,000 Christmas Eve flights canceled worldwide, including hundreds in the U.S. United and Delta Airlines pointing to employee shortages due to the new variant. Johns Hopkins University data shows infections from the new strain have quickly surpassed the peak of last summer's Delta surge. The daily average in new cases is now over 182,000.
there's no way for us to rein in the number of new infections due to Omicron. The best thing that we can do is to protect the most vulnerable.
Many healthcare workers concerned over what comes next.
We're very worried about what's to come after the holidays,
as the virus continues to take its toll on many in healthcare across the country.
The nurses are at a breaking point. ICU beds are full and patients are back in the hallways and waiting rooms.
With the rapid spread of the virus, the demand for testing grows nationwide. Americans still waiting in long lines, all to get their hands on a COVID test.
I have my vaccination, now I have my booster, but I want to be sure. So that's why I'm here.
Some cities are not taking any chances with Omicron. New York City announced it is scaling back its New Year's Eve celebration in Times Square, now limiting attendance to 15,000 people who must show proof of vaccination and wear masks. I'm Daryl Forges reporting.
Meantime, diversity and inclusivity are the focus of one North Carolina organization. Their name, Santas Just Like Me. Our Samir Netz reports the spirit of Christmas goes beyond the color of skin.
Parents are so appreciative, so thankful that they can finally take their child to see a Santa that resembles them.
Jingle bells, I said, jingle all the way.
'Tis the joy of the Christmas season in the form of a slight adjustment, changing the mainstream look of Santa.
It's just an opportunity for people of color to see themselves represented during the Christmas season.
Stafford Braxton, CEO of Santas Just Like Me, took flight with his company to add a little color to your Christmas back in 2013 after working at a North Carolina mall.
And I was doing the white Santas, and clients would come and ask if we were going to ever have a black Santa. And I would jokingly tell them, you know, they're not going to allow you guys to have a black Santa here.
He brought the idea to management, which failed to gain any traction.
I decided to give them all the benefit of the doubt and go and ask them about doing, you know, a black Santa event. And they said, oh, it was a good idea, but that's as far as it went.
Thus, Braxton set out on a journey to the North Pole and back in search of a Santa of color.
I don't think people understand how important representation is.
Ultimately finding his defining character to start the company. 7 years later, and there are now 6 Santas of color on his team.
It's amazing the number of people that came, black, white, like I said, just all kinds of people that were just very receptive. And it kind of made me feel like, man, you're doing the right thing. I was in the right place at the right time.
Braxton says more Santas are in the works, from a Hispanic Santa to an Asian Santa, ensuring the Christmas spirit continues despite a lack of diversity within the Santa community.
We're constantly searching and constantly looking because we want everybody to feel included during the Christmas season of all times of the year.
This holiday season, they were even able to make it to Greensboro.
Ho, 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 Merry Christmas.
In the Triad, I'm Samir Nafsi.
And here's an update to a story our Camille Gale brought you on this month's Pay It Forward. That'll get you in the holiday spirit if you weren't already. Camille.
Dwayne Davidson, a teacher at Jackson Middle School in Greensboro, accomplished his goal of receiving 200 board games for his students. He got the idea from another teacher and wanted not only to make sure his students received a gift this holiday season, but wanted them to get something that would increase fine motor skills, language, and speaking over the holiday break. And that's not all, get this, because of the overwhelming response from social media and the community, Mr. Davidson was able to get a game for every single student at the school. Wow. The students received their surprise as they dismissed for holiday break, and I'm pretty sure those games have already been put to use. As always, if you'd like to nominate someone to be a recipient of Pay It Forward, send your nominations to news@abc45.com.